Come on, Chiefs fans! Andy Reid has some new updates on Mahomes and his injury. We have a story to break down as we prepare for a corresponding analysis of the Houston Texans that same day. I'll give you all the behind-the-scenes details, but before I continue, make sure you've hit the like button if you've been a Chiefs fan for 17 plus years. It's great to see fans of all ages. Some of you were at the Chiefs' first game. That's awesome. Here's where we are at some of them. On Sunday in Cleveland, Mahomes exited the game in the second quarter on a Cheville catch after a brutal game. After Kansas City gave up a 2-touchdown to the Browns, the decision was rewarded with a wardrobe malfunction for the remainder of the game. Reports were false that Mahomes suffered a Cheville-style sprain, which typically sidelines most players for 4 to 6 weeks. We'll have more to say about Patrick Mahomes here, a kid who has played through the winds and who has proven he's built differently. On Tuesday, Andy Reid addressed the Mahomes situation ahead of practice this week. Reid said Mahomes tried to participate in practice but didn't schedule any work to do while he was recovering. Reid kept the safety in check. Pat's voices are broken. He's going to make sure he makes the choices, and we're going to make sure he makes the choices. If he can't make the choices, then Carson Wentz will come in and take the reps. We have full confidence in Carson. And here's the interesting part. When asked if Mahomes should meet a minimum training requirement for his game, Reid kept the choices simple, saying it would be a daily process. Mahomes' honesty in these situations is logical. He'll tell me, the doctors will tell me, the coaches will tell me, stay open. When you come out of the game, you're going to take it straight away. That's how much energy you have available. So what's being done to us as Chiefs fans? Well, Tuesday is a lighter practice day, which gave Mahomes the opportunity to take a little time off and test the waters. Reid made it clear that if Mahomes could, and everyone else could, he would. So the Chiefs are ready to go with backup quarterback Carson Wentz, here with the full confidence of their head coach. Now, NFL starter Ian Rappaport has added a little more context to Mahomes' win, and that's where the choices should get interesting. Rappaport said, the tests showed he has a hamstring strain, which is a big factor in the number of players in weeks 4 to 6. But that's Mahomes, not us. So I rapped about this playoff game against the Jaguars, and a couple years ago, he had a hamstring injury, didn't finish the game, but he's going to win next week in the game. Rappaport raised the possibility that Mahomes could be in contention for this weekend's game, which means Carson Wentz is the Texans' backup. More like good news. Long-term, Mahomes should be fine, which is the most critical takeaway as we head into the playoffs. Chiefs fans, we know all about where Mahomes stands this time around. With Kansas City in the AFC's top seed, the focus is on health and playoff readiness. Andy Reid is out, and the process has been a step-by-step process. The big question is whether Mahomes will stay in the game or if the Chiefs decide to give him supplies that are no longer needed. So you said I want to hear from you. Should Patrick Mahomes have done this, but he's not 100%? Or should the Chiefs err on the side of caution and put their relationship with Carson Wentz on hold for a week? Former Falcons star quarterback Matt Ryan certainly thinks so. On CBS Sports HQ Monday, Ryan made a pretty strong case for sitting Mahomes, saying, if it were me, I would sit him. I think the most important thing is to keep him healthy for the playoffs. Ankles are tough. I know he's done it before in the playoffs and played and done well, but those were playoff games. This is different. You have a 2-game lead in the AFC, and maybe you can bring him back in Week 18 just to get some momentum going into the postseason. Ryan's point is this, the Chiefs are in a good position. Why risk further injury to Mahomes when the ultimate goal is a Super Bowl title? According to Ryan, you need to have him as fresh as possible if you want to make a run at their 3rd Super Bowl. And let's be honest, he has a valid point. The Chiefs have a lead in the AFC standings, but it's not completely locked up yet. The Buffalo Bills hold the head-to-head tiebreaker, so losing a game could complicate things when it comes to securing the top seed and a first-round bye. That's where this debate gets interesting. If Mahomes plays through the injury, there's always the risk of making things worse. But if he sits out and the Chiefs lose a game or two, they could lose their spot at the top. Head coach Andy Reid addressed this on Tuesday, and as expected, he's keeping things simple for now. Reid said Mahomes would test things out in practice and see how it works for him. Asterisk Reed also mentioned that if Mahomes can't go, backup Carson Wentz would step in and take the reins. Wentz hasn't seen much action this season, but Reed emphasized that the team has full confidence in him to get the job done if needed. So Chiefs fans, it's decision time for Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes, and the entire organization. Do you push Mahomes to play and continue to fight for that all-important number 1 seed? Or do you follow Matt Ryan's advice and rest Mahomes and trust the team to hold the line without him? The playoffs are coming, and we all know that a healthy Mahomes gives the Chiefs the best chance to make history and win 3 consecutive Super Bowls. Now I want to hear from you. Should the Chiefs sit Patrick Mahomes through the playoffs, or should he fight through the injury to secure that number 1 seed? Heading into Week 15, Andy Reid and the Chiefs made a bit of a bold move with their offensive line. They moved all-pro left guard Joe Thuney to left tackle, a position he hadn't played regularly, and brought in Mike Caliendo to take over at left guard. It seemed like a gamble at first, but the results? Absolutely impressive. The Browns' defensive line is no joke. You have Myles Garrett, one of the most dominant pass rushers in the league, and the Chiefs' offensive line held strong. Thuney, who was matched in some key situations, didn't allow a single pressure. No sacks. No hits. Nothing. That's right, he completely shut things down at left tackle. And when you consider the struggles the Chiefs have had at that position in recent weeks, with Wanya Morris and DJ Humphries allowing sacks, Thuney's performance was nothing short of elite. But let's not forget Mike Caliendo, who also excelled at left guard. He's had a few minor hiccups, nothing unexpected for a guy who's taken on such a critical role, but overall, he's been solid. According to Pro Football Focus, Caliendo didn't allow a single pressure on 43 pass-blocking snaps. That's huge! For a young player, he's proven he has the talent and composure to contribute at a high level. Combine that with Creed Humphrey's consistency anchoring the middle, and suddenly the Chiefs' interior offensive line looks deeper and more reliable than some might have expected. So what does all this mean going forward? Well, Andy Reid now has a decision to make. Does he stick with this combination as the Chiefs prepare for the Houston Texans and the tough defensive fronts they'll face in the coming weeks? Thuney at left tackle and Caliendo at power guard was a plan A, but it worked. And with Patrick Mahomes' health in question, having a reliable offensive line is more important than ever. Whether it's Mahomes or Carson Wentz under center, the Chiefs need protection to keep the offense rolling, and this new combination has proven it can get the job done. It's also worth mentioning that DJ Humphries, who was brought in to stabilize the left tackle position, is still recovering from an injury. Humphries hasn't played much football since 2023, and Andy Reid appears to be giving him the extra time he needs to heal, learn the playbook, and get up to speed in the game. This is a smart move because the Chiefs now have depth. Whether it's Thuney, Humphries, or Morris, Reid has options at left tackle, and Caliendo has shown he's ready to step in when needed. So, Chiefs fans, here's the big question for you. Should the Chiefs stick with Joe Thuney at left tackle and Mike Caliendo at guard for the rest of the season, or should they go back to DJ Humphries when he's ready? Let me know what you think in the comments. It's clear that this offensive line change worked in Week 15, but will it hold up against the tougher defenses we'll face down the stretch? If you enjoyed this update, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel for all the latest Chiefs news. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Go Chiefs!